Laura agreed to go, but kept saying it felt wrong to doubt the pregnancy like this. I knew I needed to call Katie and explain what was happening. She'd been honest with me from the start and deserved the same respect. I waited until Laura went to work, and then sat in my car in the parking lot of our apartment. Katie answered on the second ring and sounded happy to hear from me. I told her about the pregnancy announcement and the paternity uncertainty. She got very quiet, and I could hear her breathing on the other end. Finally, she said she needed to step back completely until I had clarity about my situation. It hurt to hear that, but I understood completely. Her life was already complicated enough with her job, and she didn't need my mess added to it. I thanked her for everything, and told her she'd helped me see what a healthy relationship could look like. She wished me luck and said she hoped things worked out however they were supposed to. We hung up and I sat in my car for another 10 minutes just staring at my phone. That was it. The one good thing that had come out of this whole disaster was now gone. I moved my stuff to the couch that evening and told Laura we were roommates until this got sorted out, not a couple trying to work things out. She protested immediately, saying we should be supporting each other through the pregnancy. I explained as calmly as I could that I couldn't pretend everything was fine when I didn't even know if this child was mine. She started crying again and said I was being cruel. I reminded her that she was the one who wanted to see other people, and she was the one who'd been sleeping with James for months. Those were her choices, and now we had to deal with the results. She asked where this left us, and I said it left us as two people waiting for medical test results. Nothing more until we knew the truth. She went to the bedroom and slammed the door. I made up the couch with sheets and a blanket from the hall closet. It wasn't comfortable, but it was better than sharing a bed with someone I couldn't trust. The first prenatal appointment happened 2 weeks later, when Laura hit 8 weeks. I went with her because I wanted to hear medical facts and timelines directly from a doctor. The obstetrician was a woman in her 50s who treated us with professional neutrality, despite the obvious tension in the room. She did an ultrasound and showed us the tiny blob on the screen that was supposedly a baby. Laura cried and reached for my hand, but I kept mine in my lap. The doctor confirmed the pregnancy was progressing normally, and the dates matched up with what Laura had said. Then she asked if we had questions, and I brought up paternity testing. The doctor didn't even blink, just pulled out some information sheets about the process. She explained it was safe for both mother and baby, and could be done any time after 7 weeks. Laura sat there silently, while the doctor went through everything. We left with a folder full of information, and another appointment scheduled for 4 weeks out. I scheduled an STD screening for myself the next day, because I couldn't stop thinking about the chain of people involved. Laura had been sleeping with James, who'd been sleeping with his fiancée, and who knew where else that chain led. The clinic had an opening that afternoon, and I took it. Sitting in the waiting room with a bunch of college students made me feel old and stupid. The nurse who did my blood draw was kind and didn't make me explain anything. She said results would be ready in a few days and they'd call either way. I walked out feeling humiliated, but also relieved that I was being practical about my health. This was just one more thing I had to do to protect myself from the mess Laura had created. Laura tried to initiate sex about a week later, coming out of the bedroom in lingerie I'd never seen before. She said we should be close during this time and reached for me on the couch. I moved away and reminded her about our boundaries. She got angry fast, accusing me of being cold and punishing her. I explained that I was protecting myself emotionally until we had answers about paternity and our future. She called me heartless and said most men would step up and support their pregnant girlfriend. I pointed out that most girlfriends didn't sleep with their coworkers while pretending to run an experiment. She threw a pillow at me and went back to the bedroom. I heard her crying through the door but didn't go to her. I was done being manipulated by tears. I decided to reach out to James directly because he deserved to know what was happening. I found him on social media through Laura's profile and sent a carefully worded